Welcome to Ear Biscuits, I'm Link.
And I'm Rhett. Joining us today at the round table of dim lighting is Joseph Garrett, the creator and voice of one of the most popular Minecraft avatars on the interwebs, Stampy Cat. His Minecraft-focused YouTube channel called Stampy Longhead boasts over 5.8 million subscribers and 3.5 billion views. His popularity...
Can I say that again? 3.5 billion.
Yeah, you can say it as much as you want. I love that B stutter. Now, his popularity amongst children is unprecedented, so much so that Entertainment Weekly called him the Mr. Rogers of Minecraft.
He was not wearing a cardigan.
No.
Or talking to a trolley when he came in here, though.
But a legitimate publication has called him the Mr. Rogers of Minecraft, and that does it for me.
If you're in grade school or know someone in grade school, chances are you've heard of Stampy Cat. His voice is an almost constant presence in my home. I'm not complaining. You know, I sat down with Lily and said, all right, I got to figure out this Minecraft Stampy Cat thing. And I was kind of sucked in, and I think from the conversation, you'll kind of hear that there's a level of fascination that I have for what he's done because it's so much different than what I thought it was. I mean, he's got the voice, very distinctive. Here's a montage.
What's on the floor? Is this cake? It's just cake everywhere as far as the eye can see. Oh, look at Santa. Look, Santa's eating my cake. Oh my God, he's eating my cake. Oh, he's on fire. Woo! No, I died! Go on, give a baby sheep. Give me a baby sheep. Oh, it's a purple sheep. I got purple babies. Look at it. Look at it. How incredible is this? Check that out. How about that? We can here go and light up the cruise ship in the night. That is epic.
You know, but it's not just the voice. It's not just any one thing. I think we hit on a bunch of things that are the key to the culmination of his success coming together. Family-friendly character based on Minecraft, 20-minute daily videos full of imagination and ingenuity. It's not your typical Let's Play. These are planned and executed much like a television show, really. Storytelling, humor, friendly characters, villains, plot lines, mixed into ingenuitive Minecraft building projects.
Yeah, we had a great time sitting down with Joseph and talking about this creative process, incredibly detailed, and why he insists on doing most of it himself. Also talked about his new show that is filmed entirely within the world of Minecraft and how he gets cameras, I'm using air quotes, cameras into Minecraft. That was fascinating to me. Remarkably simple, but I had never thought about it before. And how spending so much time playing Minecraft actually led to him getting a girlfriend who, first time ever, makes an appearance.
We have a girlfriend appearance on the podcast.
Yes.
So be sure to stick around for that. But first, we want to take a moment to tell you guys about our Song Biscuits Volume 1 album available on iTunes. If you haven't checked it out already, we got a whole season of the songs we wrote, oftentimes collaborating with guests on Ear Biscuits. Like within an hour or so, we wrote the whole song. You remember, you guys tweeted at us and told us what to write the songs about. Now it's all available on iTunes.
Right, all these were on Good Mythical Morning. You can go watch those. There were Saturday videos for 15 weeks in a row, but I think you'll enjoy it. They were designed not just to be watched, but to go right into your ear holes. And so we have masterfully crafted those to go right into your ear holes by putting them on iTunes. That's pretty much how it works. I think they're also available on Amazon. Anyway, be helpful if you go over there and leave a rating and a review. And of course, buying it's always helpful too. Appreciate that.
And now on to the biscuit with Stampy Cat.
They said you had more views than Bieber.
Yeah, so
and then everyone wanted to talk about that.
But no, it's just the first article, whenever they state something, everyone just picks up on it. And so the first big article about me said more views than Justin Bieber, like on YouTube, which is, he's not a YouTuber, so what does it matter anyway? But like,
yeah.
You know, like,
right.
He's sold more songs than me, you know, but like, now every time it's introduced, it's like, more views than Justin Bieber. Like that phrase has stuck with me for like 2.5 years or something, just because... You know, because one person mentioned it, you know.
Yeah, copy and paste it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that sounds good. That sounds real good.
Why write when you can copy and paste?
Yeah, so we basically...
That was my philosophy in English class growing up.
This is probably a good time to tell you that we just took that BBC article and we're going to go by the exact same format.
I saw you hurriedly deleting something as I was saying that.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Put that away.
So we met... This is our second meeting in person. First one was in France.
Yeah.
Backstage at the whatever it was. I don't, I'm still fuzzy on what it was.
We just knew it was a trip to France, and so we went.
You had a similar situation to me. So someone wants you to speak in France, in Cannes. Okay, I'll speak.
We'll go.
I can speak.
Having never been to Europe, you have, but I had never been to Europe.
I'd never been to France.
And meeting you was a highlight because then I was able to have bragging rights with my kids and a little iPhone video from you to them.
That went a long, long way.
Yeah.
We're still dads to this day because of that iPhone video. I mean, it would have been over a few weeks ago. They would have disowned us. It probably would have been a few weeks back.
Right.
You know?
Well, luckily I kept your family life intact, so you're welcome.
I don't know if you remember, I told you when I made the video, but going over there, I was like, Stampy's going to be at this thing. I'm telling Lincoln and Lily, because they watch it religiously. Lando now does too, who's 5, so he's finally getting into it. He's finally getting it. And I said, there's a chance we can meet Stampy. He's going to be there. And they were like, I was like, what do you want me to tell him? And Lincoln said, well, just tell Stampy you're my biggest fan. I was like, well, that's backwards, dude. But I'll tell him.
Oh, dear. I mean, it's amazing when you meet people that, like other YouTubers that, that you respect and been watching for a while, and you go up to them, you're like, oh, what am I going to say to them? I'm a bit nervous. Then they come up to you and they're like, hey, it's Stampy, you're here. Like, it's so great to see you. Just like, the fact that they've heard of you. And, it's normally because they got kids that watch you, with me, but that's always, an exciting thing.
Well, it's funny because, I mean, it's probably a little bit of a fickle thing, but I've told my wife this before, that it is helpful sometimes when your reputation precedes you, when you go into a group, because a lot of times when you do what we do for a living, like I was at a birthday party a week ago with a bunch of people who are more friends of my wife than me, and no one really knew what I did. And so then you kind of I'll kind of start explaining what I do.
There's that moment when you have to decide if you're going to really say.
Am I going to do I'm a video producer? Let's just leave it at that because you are in LA and you can understand what that is. Because if I say I make YouTube videos, then there's all these questions that come up, and then it's just like, I don't want to be in that conversation. But when somebody has that, like, oh, no, I get it, and I like it. I mean, it's a little bit selfish, obviously.
But do you deal with that?
But yeah, I mean, imagine there's an extra level of explaining that the videos you do are playing video games. Like you could send them one of your videos or a podcast, and they get, that's it's close enough to something they can understand. If I have to explain that, I make videos on YouTube, what do you do? It's like, have you heard of Minecraft? If they say yes or no, then you know whether it's going to be a 10-minute or an hour conversation of explaining exactly what you do.
Yeah, and then if you go there, if you say I'm going to do the long explanation, so you will know exactly what it is I do, you get to the end of this 15-minute explanation, and they're kind of like,
I mean, you had
it doesn't matter.
I mean, have you ever just dropped a bomb on somebody? And by the way, I have 3 billion views. It's like I think I have enough read on you to know that you would probably never say that, but maybe you would.
No, I mean, like
at some point you got to pull out the big gun and just bam.
The problem is people generally most people I meet kind of just know, if I'm at like a family thing that people know, or meeting friends, people generally, they're either other YouTubers and so know, or kind of have heard that I do something, especially with kids, because, it'll be someone whose child watches me or someone's auntie's kids watches me. So the connection gets through. So they don't really understand what I do, but they know that, little Billy loves me for some reason. So that kind of makes it easy. But I mean, what I've been told, I got given advice for when going through customs, when I have to say, is it work or pleasure? If I have to say work, it's just to say I'm in advertising. Apparently that's the easiest way, because then they're like, okay, whatever. They're not interested at that point. They just let you go.
That's good.
And if the follow-up answer is just pre-roll ads.
Yeah.
And I mean, other integrations, if you really want to talk about it, but
it's an internet thing,
right? It's an internet thing. 3 billion views, you wouldn't understand. Blah blah blah.
Right.
You missed our scooter adventure in France. The day after we met you.
Yeah, I saw you speaking about it though. I heard about it.
Oh man, it was one of the highlights of our lives.
And we're not joking. I mean, we each had our own scooter, but we each had our wife on the back of the scooter, and what a great experience going up to what's it called, Monaco.
Monaco, yeah.
Next time, man, you get you a scooter, you come with us.
I also remember you being fascinated by the toilets as well. Was that another highlight of the trip?
Yes. Yes, I'm a fan of bidets and
fancy toilets over there.
Yeah.
Fancy toilets in London?
You know, if you're in a nice restaurant is good. If you're in a train station, then not so
good?
hot. No.
But the bidet is not so much an English thing, all right? I mean, you have them, but it's not like in every bathroom.
No, I mean Europe and, you know, I was going to say Europe and England is very similar. Europe's in England, England's in Europe the other way around, you know, but you know, it's very similar. Like
You do have a bidet at your house, in your apartment.
Yeah, you get sent one by the Queen, you know, at a certain age. It's how it works.
No, but they are around?
Yeah.
When you turn 13.
Okay, when they're a London thing too. Oh, okay.
All right,
Didn't know
maybe
that.
I'll visit now. Now that I know that.
There's a lot that I want to talk about. I think kind of one of the first places I wanted to go was, I mean, just in the videos that I've watched with Lily. I mean, she's the most religious viewer in our house. I quickly find out it's not a typical just watch me play Minecraft. I mean, there's a lot that goes into the various different types of videos that you play. But I just want you to walk us through a typical episode within your lovely world. What are those called? Just the lovely world?
Yeah. There's not really a name of the series. The videos in my lovely world. So this is that's my main series, and that's
right.
what I put most time into, and they're my most planned videos. So
right.
As you know, you deducted, I'm not just pressing record. Like I know kind of the beginning, middle, and end of what the episode's going to be.
So walk us through it for someone who hasn't watched yet.
Okay, so a typical episode is I'll be building either a new shop or a mini game or something, but before I even think about building it, I've come up with say if I'm doing a mini game, I come up with the idea of the game, I have to come up with a theme, and then I entirely build it in a separate world to practice it, have people come in and test playing it with me, and then I'll kind of go into the world and then work out, well, if I built this much in one episode, then we could kind of test playing it and it'll be a fun ending. And then in the next episode, we can do this part. And then, you know, I work out 3 episodes, which we spent building and then playing this game.
Right. So the pre-production, I mean, I could just tell watching one 20-minute video, there's a lot that goes into this. But from an audience's perspective, walk us through from that perspective. I mean, right from the go, there's a few things that I can count on as a viewer, right?
Yeah.
More than a few things.
Yeah.
First off, the first words out of your mouth.
Hello, this is Stampy, and welcome to a Minecraft Let's Play video. That's how it always starts, and that's not a planned intro, but people love that familiarity. I always start in the same place, and the beginning routine is always
you're in your house.
the same. Yeah.
So you're in your house. You're kind of talking to the audience, but the character is looking at the camera, so to speak.
Yeah.
So you've got that viewpoint.
I always talk directly to the viewer. I never say like, oh, would all of you like this? I always say, would you like this? Like I'm always speaking
to an individual.
Yeah, to an individual.
But the camera is looking at Stampy, the character.
Yeah, well, the majority of the time it's just the first person perspective. So they're just seeing what Stampy would be seeing if he was in that world.
So Stampy leaves his house. There's usually there's a pet bit and then there's a garden bit. I mean, walk me through all of that.
Okay, so always start in my room. That has kind of changed a bit over the years. I always have a cake for breakfast is a must because otherwise I'm not happy for the rest of the video. And then I go to the Love Garden, which is basically a place where anyone who sent me a fan art or a great video or just done anything cool, then I put their name down in a sign and say thank you. So say someone has, decorated an amazing wall in like Stampy Cat colors or something. Then,
in real life.
Yeah. Then I'll put a picture of that up and say, thanks for doing that. That's really awesome. Welcome to my Love Garden. And that's a sign in my world which will stay there forever. So every video when I go to the Love Garden, they can kind of see their sign, which is a cool thing.
Yeah.
And the garden is pretty huge if because you make a video every single day.
Yeah, not in
And a
that
lot of them are
series.
this-
I do 2 videos a week in that series, and originally there was a sign each. They now have to share signs. There's now
Okay.
four
Right.
per
It's
sign.
It's kind of like burying
Yeah.
people in a cemetery. At a certain point, you got to start stacking people.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like the round table of dim lighting here. Eventually.
Signatures on top of each other.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the first person to have to write the underneath of the table. That's not
Right.
a glorious
Yeah,
moment.
there is one under there.
But just to clarify, the fans in your love garden, they're not deceased.
No.
So I just want for anyone
Yes.
listening, let's just clarify that.
Being deceased is not required.
At some point, you bring a pet along. So there's like, you've got pets, you've got dogs in the Minecraft world that have names that you're choosing one to be your companion.
Yeah, like people like animals a lot, and I find having animals is good. I mean, having animals in Minecraft is great because, like, the thing that I do is it's so planned, like most of it, but the commentary's unscripted and things can happen in the video which I didn't plan, and you just go with it. Like the dog can suddenly jump off something or set off some TNT or something, and having animals with kind of crazy AI running around is an amazing thing to add humor to a video. And you just to pretend like, I speak to them as if they understand me. I say, oh, you're looking happy today. Oh, you're going off to explore this. So like I'm always making up most of the story as I go along. And it's the same with other characters in the videos. I have other people that join me who are real people controlling characters, but they don't speak. They can hear me, but they don't speak. So I could look at a character called Lee Bear, who's a big bear, and I go, oh no, you look upset today. He's just standing there. And then, so he'll then react to me, and then I'll make up, oh, did you lose your thing? So I can make up a kind of a story on the fly.
And this is never, as far as I've seen, it's never montaged. This is a single 20-something minute long episode.
Yeah, so 20 minutes straight commentary, just me speaking. Sometimes it will go wrong, and I'll be like, a lot of the time I'll get close to the end, and I'm like, nothing happened. Like, this is boring. Like, and I'll just go and start again. Like, that happens a lot. Or like,
A lot? So
yeah,
you're at that 18 minutes in, and you're like, this isn't. I'm going to start over.
I've got to I've been editing a video and been watching it back and been like, no, this isn't. It's like I'm not like this isn't entertaining. There's nothing. Everything just went as it was supposed to. That's boring. Like it went too well. It was just fine.
So instead of having an edit trick, like I'm going to splice in the end, I'm going to create an alternate ending. You start over. It's just because it's live.
It's
one
live
take.
and it's real. It's if I'm building something, I'm actually I'm doing it all there. But
anything you built, you'd have to tear down and then rebuild.
Oh, you can kind of just quit without saving and then go back, which is what I do a lot.
Okay, that's good.
They're typical episodes. I then have special episodes, which take the planning goes even further. To I do an episode where I go to space and I build a rocket ship.
I want to talk about that one.
Yeah,
but before we do, just continue walking me through though. And I like the details of it because you'll pick your dog sometimes. You'll take him. You'll have the other person who's playing with you, and then you'll go and you'll build a game, but then you won't finish it, but then you'll go and that'll be the first half. You're actually doing like construction and creation of I liken it to kind of like on Survivor where like everyone's doing a physical challenge. It's kind of like a really fun Minecraft version of a game, a physical challenge game like that within the game. You're building that, but then at some point you go to another game that you finished and you play that, and it's like a competition with stakes.
Yeah, so usually like I never want videos to be just building for 20 minutes. So normally, at the ending I'll go and like, oh, we'll play just a game I've already built just as a fun ending. And so, but when I'm actually building, I'm really being very conscious to kind of teach what I'm building. Because a lot of the time people copy what I've built and build it in their own world. So I'm being very particular about, place 10 blocks along this way. Or then if I'm doing, there's something called redstone in the game, which is kind of like wiring. So you can do like mechanical things, have pistons and buttons and things. And so if I'm doing anything like that, I'm very particular in terms of like, this is how, then it becomes slightly more, it's always entertainment first, but then it's a bit more of a guide or, giving people ideas at least.
So what percentage of your time now is devoted to planning versus the execution in the world?
It's pretty much like the recording is 20 minutes. The recording is the length of the video. The planning can take, for a Lovely World episode, it'd only be at least a full day planning the episode, and then I normally record it the next day.
But even coming up with those games, the intricate nature of these things, there's a mechanical nature, and it's just whimsical, but it's something. All of these things you're talking about are things that like a top-notch television producer would hire a team of 20 people. Half of the people in the room would just be writers to devise this type of stuff.
But that's where I think the value is. Like, people can, like, my commentary, I think I'm fine. Like, I'm getting better. Like, I think a lot of people attribute most success of mine to the commentary.
Right.
When I don't think I think my commentary is fine. Like, it does what it needs to do. But it's the planning and, being able to come up with a new idea each week. And it's not even an idea of building something that looks cool or plays well. It's got to play well in my format of video. Like, I can't come up with a game where the other person needs to speak. So it needs to be easy to understand. And even building it, I don't want to build something too big because that would be boring. If I'm building like a skyscraper, like I'm just placing rows of blocks. Like, the building process has to be fun as well.
I would agree. I mean, the commentary, the person, it's a total package, but the ingenuity associated with, you only have to watch, as a producer, you only have to watch one to really appreciate kind of the genius of the amount of ingenuity that goes into it. And with each one, you're building another game. It's amazing. It really is.
And kind of what I hear you saying in that answer, though, is that you haven't necessarily found someone yet that you can get to do those things for you, because you're
still doing all of it.
I haven't looked for someone like that's what I enjoy most is when I'm in Minecraft and I'm just planning or like just scribbling on a whiteboard and working out dimensions. That's the fun part for me. I mean, I love recording as well, but that's what I really enjoy. And there's I got an editor, so a lot of that side of thing is things that I don't need to be as involved in because there's generally little editing because as you said, it's 20 minutes straight, no cut, so there's not a huge amount that needs to be done. Yeah. But like you
do all the hard parts. You've got an editor, and nothing needs to be edited. Did you invent the format? I mean, were you emulated or inspired by someone else who was taking the world of Minecraft and then bending it to be pre-produced as a show in this way, or did you just invent it over time?
Like, yeah, it was, I mean, if you look at an early episode compared to now, like, that wasn't the initial format. I mean, The Lovely World, I'm almost on, well, I've probably just about hit 300 episodes now. So, and if you look at episode 1, it's in no way similar to any later episodes. I kind of just kept adding on aspects
But no one else was doing it. So you are saying that you invented it over time, this format that you've arrived at.
Yeah. I guess I was kind of naturally doing it. There weren't many people doing family-friendly content on Minecraft when I began. When I started, it was when Minecraft first came out for consoles. And that is when a lot of children, and on phones as well, and tablets, that's when a lot of children started playing. Because before that, Minecraft was like a hardcore gamer's game. It was a weird game you can only get online. And, a lot of the elements of it, you kind of had to know some basic coding to do some things. And it was not a kid-friendly game. And it was only when it came to consoles did kids start playing, and I started playing. And so I think my timing was just so lucky. The fact that I started doing videos as kids started playing, and I think that is kind of a big reason why it was successful.
But the fact that you developed, again, the format of, okay, they're going to be 20 minutes. Why 20 minutes? Was that how long a television show is? Is that why?
I think it just seemed that's a good length to have a beginning, middle, and an end, which is I guess why 22 minutes became the time that TV did it as well. Like it's there's enough time for you to start explain what you're doing, start the idea, then you've got a good middle where you're creating it, and then you have 3 or 4 minutes at the end for a fun ending. But, I never, there was not once when I sat down and thought like, okay, I should start in the room and then I should go to the love garden. And like, I never once thought about that.
It was instinct.
It just kind of happened, and then people picked up on it. People were like I did one episode where I didn't start in my room. People were like, oh, why didn't you start in your room? And I was like, oh, that's a thing now. Like that just,
I guess I will now.
Yeah. Like, okay, that's how I start my videos now.
It's interesting that, Entertainment Weekly called you the Mr. Rogers of Minecraft. And it's that repetition, and it's that pattern, and it's also the target audience, I guess, but it's so powerful. I even found myself, like, once I watched with Lily, I was like, I get it. I can come back to this. He was one of his dogs then he ran off and he doesn't know where it is. I bet he did that on purpose. I bet I'm going to find out next time that dog's coming back. This guy's a genius. I want to know what happened to the dog.
Well, the dog's fine. I just want to rest assured that straight away. The dog's fine. I mean,
don't lie. A lot of your dogs have died.
I know.
Don't be like the dog is fine. How many dogs have died? And where do you bury them?
I bury them where they die. I mean, that's actually kind of, it's not a nice thing, but that is a nice way to kind of add a bit of a message in, because there's always, if a dog died, they're always buried, and, I can always say a little thing about, like, them being remembered and things. So that's something that I've not shied away from. There are certain dogs that I feel that if they died, people would be too upset. That couldn't happen, but especially in the early days.
So you wouldn't save that one. Like, that
so
dog
if that
died.
dog dies, it's just start over.
Yeah.
Has that happened?
Yeah, it has. So, but once you quit out the game, it's back to school. It hasn't happened again. It's
time
gone.
travel.
Exactly.
It's just
time travel.
Which dog are we talking about here?
I don't know any specific examples off the top of my head, but it's.
But you know that these dogs are meaningful to the audience. So
I know that I've diverted destiny for a few favorite characters.
Wow, you're playing God in Minecraft. I love it.
Well, I mean, you talk about the audience and kind of changing, making your content more age appropriate.
Yeah,
and it's not like every YouTuber knows that kids are watching their stuff. What made you make a decision? Because you made a strategic decision early on that, okay, you weren't going to use foul language. You were going to keep it kid friendly.
Yeah, well,
but you didn't have to, and most people don't, and it's a choice.
It was a moral decision rather than a strategic one, because that was still at a point where YouTube wasn't even in the back of my head an idea for a career. Like that was pure hobby. Like, I mean, there was for years I did non-child friendly content on YouTube just as a hobby. No one was watching, but I didn't care. And then when Minecraft came out, I noticed kids were watching, and so I thought, okay, well, I can't. If kids are watching, I can't be swearing. Like I was happy to change, and I'm so glad I did now, because I think that was the big reason why more kids started watching, and parents trusted me at that point.
And we can say from the perspective of parents who have kids who are fans of yours that we definitely appreciate that. I think that's something that we think about because we are parents. So it kind of came like we started YouTube as parents. So, I've always just kind of thought, most of these single people, they just don't know. They're not thinking beyond just the immediate experience that they're having. So they're not thinking like, 75% of my audience is like really young kids. So maybe I should think about what I'm saying. So as a parent, we appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, it was never seeing, like, I didn't see a gap in the market. I didn't say, here's this big untapped audience. It was, that audience was there, and I saw they were on my channel, and I was like, okay, I better, tailor my content to the people that want to see. I mean, I say I didn't make child-friendly stuff. Like, I was never vulgar. Like, it was just, it was more.
It just wasn't intended.
Yeah, my commentary was like I am in this conversation. I wasn't, hello, this is, I was speaking as I'm speaking now, which is, it's just fine, but it's, it's not going to grab anyone's attention.
Right.
And you're not going to, like, just drop an expletive when you feel angry. You're gonna hold back a little bit.
Yeah, and even more so than that, I'm not gonna get angry. I'm gonna understand the situation, and like, you're never gonna see Stampy, getting, like, say if he loses in a having a big tournament and I lost by loads, I'm never gonna be angry. It's like, oh well, but we all had fun. It's saying those messages. It's not my emotions at that point. It's it's Stampy's, and it's not like, it's different to being fake as well. Because if I'm laughing, like that's laughing. Like if I turn a corner and there's a zombie and it makes me jump, like that's all real. But then there's other things where I can tailor things to make it a little bit better than real life, like a little bit happier.
As an entertainer, I mean, what's the largest scale project that you've done? Is it the rocket launch that you were mentioning earlier?
There's probably my Easter special this year was quite big. That was a choose your own adventure style video. So where it started off as an Easter egg hunt where there would be a riddle left by the Easter bunny, and I got to work out where the egg is, and then eventually I'm attacked by a villain, and then it becomes like, do you attack the villain or do you try and talk to him? And then so that was a good 20 plus episode short videos,
and those were clickable annotations to different videos.
Yeah, and iCards as well. So it worked on phones. So it was
yes,
yeah. Choose your own event. So that was quite a big one. The flying to the moon one was a big one because in Minecraft there isn't a moon you can go to. So I had to build the moon.
Yeah, give us the concept. I watched the behind the scenes video.
Okay.
I want you to explain it because it was just kind of taking Minecraft from being a game and turning it into a cinematic tool.
Yeah.
It became video editing software, effects software, and it blew my mind when I watched the behind the scenes. Well, so what did you want to do? What was the first idea?
Yeah, so this is actually a really controversial video, if you can believe it, for really weird reasons. So what I love to do is to take the game and do things that you couldn't normally do in the game, but make it like it's never like, oh, I've added in a flying dragon, which obviously doesn't fit in. It's supposed to always look like it is just the game, and I just kind of never acknowledge it, and it's just that's what it is, whether it's flying to the moon or traveling back in time or going around in a submarine. Like, I like to do these bigger videos, and they're always more popular. So I did a video where I made it look like I was flying to the moon and I met aliens, and the moon was powered by lunar cheese, which I gathered up from the moon. So, there's this big video.
See,
and
that's when I knew you were fake, when it was powered by the moon, not powered by lunar cheese.
No, that was all real.
It's powered by naughty children turning cogs, right?
No.
Yeah, so the process of making that video was, I had to build the moon, which was, a month-long project. I had help building it, but, we're placing block by block, building the surface of the moon, and then
a sphere of lunarscape.
Well, I pretended we couldn't see beyond the horizon, so I didn't have to build. I was able to build a flat plane and assume that the rest wouldn't be seen. So that was a big thing, in itself. And then I had to build a recreation of a huge rocket ship that I built in my world, and then I had to then get the transition perfect from me flying up into the sky, and then loading up a brand new world, and then editing it as if I land and trying to make it look seamless.
Right, so you get it, you build the rocket. Like, the audience is along for the ride, watching you construct the rocket on your planet, in your world, the lovely world.
Yeah, yeah.
You get in the rocket, and it's like, all right, launch sequence, initiate, and then you see the rocket take off. This cannot happen in Minecraft. It's going up. And you see the skyline disappear, and the rocket's it's in orbit. Well, it's out of orbit, and then you see it just come down on the moon, kind of like the SpaceX rocket. Like, it came down butt first, right?
Yeah, full of video logistical reasons.
Yeah,
it landed exactly right down. Yeah, and the thing with that is it's those. I mean, the rocket one was. I mean, some people might have guessed that something would have happened, but it always just happens within what would seem like a normal episode. So they would never know when things like that are going to happen. Like, I love to surprise the audience. And so I'll be having a totally normal episode. I'm building a bakery, and then suddenly, a UFO comes down. Suddenly something big happens, and then there's this quick adventure, and they have no idea, when it's coming. Or, sometimes I do like a build up to it, that I leave clues in a few episodes leading up to it.
And how are you, I would say, physically editing these things? You're like exporting capture footage from Minecraft into like Final Cut?
Yeah. I was at that point. So I did.
And is that why it was controversial? Because you were using editing tricks at that moment?
Yeah, the worry, the controversy was the fact that I got accused of like faking a video. And like,
and how did you find out about that? Like, was it just a bunch of comments?
Well, it was actually I uploaded I knew that after, because the moon one was the first big video like that. So that kind
where you broke the rules.
Yeah. And so I knew I was going to get comments saying, how did you do that? But I thought they were all going to be, how did you edit that? I didn't realize they were going to be, how did you fly the moon in Minecraft?
Right. They're like all racking their brains. How do we do this in the game?
So I uploaded I made at the same time, I made a behind the scenes where I recorded every process, and I made a video how Stampy flew to the moon, because I knew people were going to want to know how I did it, thinking the editing tricks, assuming they would know. But then they would find this video and be like, oh, so you faked it. You didn't actually fly to the... You made it out as if you flew to the moon. You were tricking us. And I was like, no, I was entertaining you. Hopefully, I was, I didn't... I was a bit short-sighted on my side. Like, didn't realize that people would assume that I was actually doing this thing. I thought I was making, a cool, entertaining video, but I got... I'm just the minority, but it was...
How did learning that people had an expectation, or at least some people had an expectation for this to be an authentic Minecraft experience, how did that impact you moving forward?
I often now in videos like that, at the very end, say something along the lines of I hope you enjoyed this, this special video, and kind of try and word it to make it obvious that, this wasn't fake. I hope you just enjoyed this special thing I made for you. I try and leave something like that, but it hasn't really changed too much. Like, I keep trying to step up to beat the previous thing. And, and there are a lot of people that aren't thinking about the behind the scenes and whether they think it's in Minecraft or not, are just really enjoying these videos. They always end up being more popular, and, they're kind of the people I'm mainly making the videos for. Like, it hasn't put me off kind of doing that kind of thing. Right.
Because that's one of the ways that you're kind of pushing the boundaries of the space.
Yeah, it's just something a little bit different. And I've done, quite a few videos in that style now, where, it's probably about once every 2 or 3 months, there's just this video that kind of comes out of nowhere, which always seems like a normal video, and then, something extraordinary happens.
What's the next thing? What's in the works? Give us a hint.
Well, after the Easter video, the villain has escaped and will be coming back soon. I'm not holding back from you guys. I'll tell you anything, but I don't know exactly yet what it is.
Okay, you got to figure it out and
The
plan.
villain's going to come back.
You got to spend a month building something.
Whatever it is, it'll be great.
Tell us about the pre-Stampy Joe, like growing up.
So I'd always wanted to... my two obsessions were playing video games and making videos.
And where did you grow up?
I grew up in the south of England, about 15 minutes away from where I live now. It's a small town called Emsworth. It's like a fishing village. It's very...
So on the coast.
Yeah, right next to the sea. I had a very happy childhood. Is
your dad or mom a fisherman or fisherwoman?
No, so sadly not. But my dad is actually a graphics designer and did all of the Stampy artwork for merchandise and things.
Oh, yeah?
He actually did all of that. So, and then my mum is... number one fan, and now like YouTube expert from looking at, from me going, watching everyone else. And she's number one on my Stampy Facebook page, moderating it to see, like, you wouldn't believe what this woman was saying on the Stampy Facebook page. So, it's kind of become a bit of a family project now, which I love.
What was she saying?
I can never remember.
They'll tell you what they think on Facebook.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that. So, you got any siblings?
Yeah, I got two sisters, two older sisters, one of which is now works with my dad doing design work, and another one which has just started a YouTube career as well. So
Really?
We ended up... I wanted to do a video where I was getting my mum to play Minecraft for the first time, and she would be playing and I would be kind of guiding her. And she's, never touched a controller in her life. She wouldn't do it, and then... I asked my sister, who was in the same situation, to do it, and she did it and loved it. And then, like, a few weeks later, started up a YouTube channel doing Minecraft videos. So I was able to get my sister into it as well. So.
Did you guys get along growing up?
Yeah. We always had we were always a really, really close family. I mean,
was it like having 3 moms when you have 2 older sisters?
No, because mum's kind of, like... I kind of felt like it was a bit different for I guess, playing. Like, I had very close friends, and, I wasn't particularly interested in girls' toys, so we were kind of close in a way, but, we played together a lot when we were very young, but kind of as you get older, like, I was super obsessive into video games, and, they weren't. So
from a young age.
Yeah, well, I never actually had games consoles as a child, but all my friends did, which is fine, but like...
And why was your family just like, you should be playing those video games? Or?
I don't think I've already asked for one. Like I don't know why, but I don't think I just never considered the fact that I could have one too. I'm talking when I was very young, but I actually like
Really?
it now because it made video games like really special to me. Because like it would be, I'd be going around my friend's house and I get to play it, and I'd like be like, oh yeah, I'm going to go around Liam's house. I get to play the Sega. I get to play the Nintendo.
Oh, Liam had that Sega.
Yeah.
Dude,
he had all of them, and I didn't have any of them. But so it made
Liam was spoiled, wasn't he?
well, he was an only child.
There
you
were
see,
kids like that had all the systems. Now, but a huge part of who you are and what you do now is your imagination, right? And so, as somebody who has a brain that can create a story and can create a world, I always picture them as a kid, kind of lost in thought, or wandering around, exploring, and stuff like that. Like, how did that imagination manifest itself when you were a kid?
So when I was really young, it was writing. I used to write my own stories, and like I used to get just A4 paper and like kind of fold it together and staple it to make books and like draw the front cover. So that when I was really young, like that was my obsession. And then like, Mum, read my new book, and her looking at my squiggles trying to understand it. And then and then as soon,
so we're talking like adventure novels about fantastical bands of creatures. What genre?
No, nothing that good. It was
Nothing that good.
Often slightly based on video games. Probably.
Liam's video games.
Yeah. There was a long running series called The Cat and the Dog, which me and my friend Liam's real, by the way.
I'm sure he is.
And who me and we would write kind of back and forth together, and sort of as the only other person that would read each other's books.
You had a writing partner.
Yeah,
that's you were committed. I should have gotten Link involved at this stage, because what I did is I began writing one book when I was about 10 years old, and it was about this group of
I remember
people who were in this really weird world that had like cows with really short legs.
I remember
and
that.
Like perfectly manicured grass. And
well, you let me read it, and I guess my reaction didn't encourage you to continue.
No, but what happened
Sorry.
is my band of friends who were like going out across this land, they came to a huge chasm, and then like I ran out. I couldn't figure out what they should do when they got to the chasm, so the book just ended with them standing at the edge of a chasm.
That's why they call it Writer's Chasm.
Exactly.
A literal cliffhanger. It's amazing.
Yeah, it was a literal
cliffhanger. That's what I was looking for. A literal
But yeah, and
cliffhanger.
I let you read it, and as opposed now in our relationship now, Link would be like, "I've got a suggestion for how to get across the chasm," but he was just like, "Okay." Let's eat some oatmeal pies.
I like the oatmeal pies. Yeah, now if if the me now was then, what I would have done was I would have given you 20 notes. 4 of them would have been really good and would have helped you get over the chasm. But then the other 18, you'd have just gotten really mad at me.
Yeah, it would have been very
Why?
frustrated. Why do the cows have short legs? That doesn't make any sense. I don't like that.
We get in a lot of arguments.
So you had a
we
writing
weren't like
partner.
you and Liam.
But that didn't continue.
No, I mean this is very, this is very young. But then as soon as technology caught up to where like I could make videos, then that was it used to be animations was my obsession. I didn't have a video camera, but I would take my mum's digital camera, it's like stills camera, and I'd make stop motions. And that is actually where I got the Stampy name from. Stampy Longhead was a character in one of these animations.
With a long head?
He had a long head and big feet. And also on the computer, the way I'd animate, because I didn't have Flash or anything, and if I did, I wouldn't know how to use it. I'd use Photoshop, and I'd save pictures. So I'd have all my separate layers, and I'd move the eyes and then the mouths, and then I'd save a picture, and then I'd just shove them all in a timeline, and and then I'd make animations that way. And that was, like I'm one of the people that I could sit there for 7 hours just doing that.
This is like high school or middle school?
This is kind of, that's towards the end of what would be the lowest, it's primary school in England. Like this would be towards the end of that. This is looking at about 9, 10, 11, 12. That's when I was getting obsessed with that. And then as soon as I got a video camera and, I picked a group of friends that would be interested enough to, jump around in front of it while I'm trying to make something, then that's what I was doing, and this is, before YouTube and then to the start of YouTube. And then, so as soon as YouTube came along, then that was like, okay, I got a place to put all of these early videos.
So you never went back to actually writing anything?
No, I mean, it was writing for video at that point. I never went back to just literature. I mean, literature. These are kids' books. I mean, these are.
Well, it's the cat and the dog.
Yeah, the cat and
that's literature.
Yeah. So as soon as video making came around, from then until now, then that was what I was going to do, through school. And then I did college for 2 years doing TV and film, and then did video productions in university. Like I knew I was wanting to make videos, but like my obsession was never with film. I never, I didn't watch loads of films. I didn't watch loads of TV. My obsession was always still playing video games. I loved the process of making video, but then playing games.
So what specifically did you think the career was going to be?
I wasn't sure. I always liked editing. Editing was a big thing I liked. That's what I tried to specialize in. I actually, before going full-time in YouTube, I was doing freelance vision mixing, like live vision mixing at events, like corporate events and things. I was doing that because that was one of the few professional things I could do where people would pay me to do it. That was never the
live camera switching.
Yeah, live switching. So
now, we found your LinkedIn profile online.
Okay.
Which still says, quote, freelance video producer, and features that you were bar staff at the Railway Inn.
Well, that's the only
that's it.
Work experience.
That LinkedIn was made as in university. Like they just said, like, do you have a LinkedIn to everyone? And I was like, I don't have one. It's like, if you don't have a LinkedIn, like, make one now.
Yes,
and so, like, I
gotta
made
have one of those.
Yeah,
and it still sits there.
Yeah. Like I could take it down, but it's not hurting anyone.
But you were a barkeep, like yeah. Were you a bartender, or were you like?
Yeah, I was all through university, and for a while afterwards, I was a bartender
at the Railway Inn.
Yeah.
What was that place like?
It was a local English pub. It was down the road from where I lived.
They build pubs on top of pubs over there, right?
Yeah.
It's like you walk in a pub to get to another pub, right?
It's like one of 8 pubs in the town square of this tiny town. It's like every other building's a small pub, and I was a bartender in one of them.
It's like churches in the South. It's like, well, you walk through a church to get to a church.
Right.
Yeah, and it is something like that. But, I mean, that was a great job for me. Well, I loved it at university because I loved the contrast of the conversations you're having with people at university and then going to the pub. It was each one was a nice break from the other.
Right.
And also I had, I didn't have great social skills or confidence before then. And that was a great way to be able to, meet new people each day and just be able to hold, conversations with people. Like that's something that I wasn't great at.
What was the clientele in the Railway Inn? We talking middle-aged men watching football?
Yeah. Middle to later aged men, who are in there for a lot of the day. There's lots of really nice people there though. It was a sport pub. It had a pool table and a dartboard and stuff. So it was a pretty good mix actually.
Right.
Seen any wicked dart accidents?
No, and almost course. I mean, we would when the pub was shut, we would do crazy darts, and we'd play darts in, just difficult positions to throw darts. So no one was there. We were fine, but that was one of the things to look forward to at the end of the shift. Crazy darts.
Did you ever have to do that very stereotypical thing that a bartender does in movies, where they have to cut some old man off like late at night? Like you can't have another one. Is that part of the bartender's code?
Yeah, you got to arguing with drunk people is one of the skills you pick up early on, and how to ignore knowledge, like ignore logic and just sort of.
Right.
It's just like dealing with just really big kids at that point.
Yes.
Like the way you gotta speak to them.
Right. That's where you developed your voice for Stampy.
No.
Talking to drunk men who needed to be like told to walk home. Oh, just go ahead and walk home now.
Don't do that to him. That sounded nothing like
it did. That was the very
Stampy.
poor Rhett interpretation of the very beginning of the video.
What's your day-to-day like now? I mean, let's talk social life.
So I mean, you know how hard it is. I mean, the good thing.
I mean, you're putting out how many videos a day? How many days a week?
So I do Minecraft daily, and then there's other games I play as well, which are sort of on top of that. So it's
7 days a week.
Yeah, it's probably about 11 or 12 videos I do a week. I do. So I do a Minecraft one every day. But we were speaking earlier about the preparation that goes into videos. That's not all of them. That's very specific to My Lovely World, my main series. There's other videos where, you could be sent a map, which is kind of like a story, and you kind of just play through it. And you could do 3, 4, 5 episodes in a row, kind of as long as you've still got energy and got your voice. Like, so I could, do one day recording them, and then that's that covered for 2 weeks. And so then I have the time to, spend, a day or two like working hard on one particular video. So that's the way you can kind of fit it in, so you actually have time to do it all.
And I want to come back to that day to day, and I think this kind of intersects with it too. Knowing that, when you look at the amount of viewers that you're getting on this content, and imagining, especially if you're still doing so much of it yourself, I mean, your overhead is low, views are incredible, you're obviously doing well financially. So at what point did you start thinking like, okay, at one point you're a bartender and a guy who's studying at university, and the next moment you're like, well, hold on, this is a real thing. This isn't just making a living. Like this is building something that is a pretty big deal. Like I'm going to have opportunities based on how this is going. Like, do you remember when that started happening?
Yeah, well, I mean, the very specific day-to-day for producing videos for my channel has hardly changed. Like I've got, I'm not doing it from, my bedroom now, which is nice. It's still in my house, but I'm not doing it from a bedroom anymore. But, the process of making videos like hasn't changed because there's nothing you can really change because I don't want to bring help in for that, because I want it to stay so true to me. That hasn't changed. It's just other opportunities around there has changed, for things that I could do, going forth. Like it's just opened a lot of doors for me. And so that's the big thing that has changed.
But do you anticipate, because I mean, at some point you're going to be like, well, I want to start a family, or I want to try this, or I've got this project that if I want to do this thing, I'm going to have to let some of that go. Is it well, I just hope I'll find somebody I trust? Because I totally get it that you're saying, I enjoy that. Like, I don't want to let go of that. I don't want it to become just this enterprise or this business that I'm just managing, because the heart of it, of you developing and executing your creativity, is something you want to maintain. But if you decide you want to, like your new project, Wonderquest, things like that, if they start pulling away at that, is it just a matter of finding somebody you trust to do it for you, or is it pulling back?
I think it would have to be pulling back. Like the planning of the Lovely World episodes and the commentary are the two things that I could never give away. There's probably a few, like literally, so if I was going to do a video now of flying to the moon, there's probably someone I could get to build the moon for me, or, to build that map. Mm-hmm. But the commentary and then the preparation for the actual video, the coming up with ideas, that I'm going to always retain as me. So it would have to be a case of, 3 or 4 maybe Minecraft videos a week rather than 7, if that did happen. As you said, like I wouldn't have an option to start a family now. Like my schedule wouldn't permit for that. It would be unfair to the other people, in my life to, it's 10 hours a day, if not more, just to, and that's just getting by. And then there's other opportunities that go on top of that, which take up more time. So,
like how do you handle a week in LA like this?
So I always just stockpile. Like I do have opportunities to record when I'm going away, but I'm so particular about kind of where I record and like kind of my setup, like, just the mental
you just end up
spaces.
having a stockpile.
Yeah.
Like if you're here for a week, the previous week you had to do double. The previous 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then when I get, I'm always quite far ahead in terms of record. I always have safety room. It's just normally, depending on what series, it's normally at least a month safety room I have. So because if I'm sick, if I lose my voice, then I don't ever miss days. Like I've
can't miss days.
I've never, like kind of out of just tradition, I'd hate just to miss one day. Because
you've never missed a day?
Well, like since doing, I don't know from when it started, but since I started doing daily Minecraft videos, I've not missed a day yet. So it would kind of just suck just to miss one, because I had a sore throat and couldn't. I'd probably end up using like Siri to do a commentary or something, like to text to voice to do or something. Rather than completely
people
miss
might
it.
be disappointed.
But what about, you got to have time for romance, man. I mean, and I'm not just talking let's just say there was a girl that you could play some Minecraft videos with, and then that could also be popular and like help meet your quota. I'm actually talking about like in real life, an actual girl.
Yeah. So what's the question?
Do you have time for romance?
Yeah, I mean, like my schedule isn't to the point where I can't do it. Like I can go out, I can do things, I can meet people. I mean, like it's hard for me
like
to
a duck.
It's hard for me to meet people outside of the YouTube space, which is lucky for me that, you know, I have met someone, and we've not kept a secret. Like I'm with Squishy, who's a duck in Minecraft. And, you know, and we met through Minecraft, as I meet most people these days.
And she may or may not be in the room right now.
She may or may not be to my left.
Squirming in the corner. I was like, you can stay in here. We typically say, oh, nobody can stay in here. But I just wanted to see her squirm in the corner when I kind of made you squirm. But I asked Lily, I was like, you think, does Stampy have a girlfriend? No, she was watching the video, like Stampy and Squishy playing. And I was like, okay, I hear a girl's voice. That doesn't sound like Ballistic Squid, and unless he's changed a lot since last time I listened over your shoulder. And she's like, no, that's Squishy. I was like, oh, is that Stampy's girlfriend? She was like, she was like, well, he doesn't say so, but it's pretty obvious, right?
Which is kind of what you're saying.
I mean, in videos, I never talk about personal life. It's just. Like, I never even I'm not even talking about my life. Like, I never referenced real life things. Like, I'll never mention, like, you know, as specific, you know, I'll never mention what I had for breakfast. It's always...
Because you're Stampy as a character.
I'm the character,
yeah.
You know. Like, if I'm talking about eating something, it's what I'm eating in Minecraft, not real life. So...
But you got your vlog channel too, though, that people can
Yeah. So there's another channel, Magic Animal Club, which is kind of, there's a few of us. It's a bit of a joint channel. So whenever we do want to do something that is kind of outside of the character, you know, that's kind of a place where we can put that. And the only reason we do that is because people, like, you know, demand it. People are really interested, and
they've got to know. It's just like we had to know right here, and we had to talk about it. So the answer is yes. There is time for a girlfriend.
Yeah.
But then you guys have made a decision, okay, we're going to do the vlog thing. You're going to see us at Disneyland. You can, you know, we're just going to, what went into that decision?
Like we always just, we never feel the need to like announce anything. Like with anything in our personal life, we never feel, you know, we're not vloggers. Like we've done a few vlogs, but they're always like, we're doing a big thing. Like you want to see this cool thing we're doing. Like I've never done a vlog from home, just saying like, hey, woke up this morning. How you know, like, I've never done just a general, you know, vlog. You know, I think I'd be really boring at that. But you know, if I'm doing a really cool thing and I think, oh, you know, people would love to see us doing this. This is cool. You know, that's when we vlog. And you know, if I happen to be with Squishy or whoever, you know, they're going to be in the vlog. You know, we're going to do it, you know, together. But I never feel like, you know, I need to announce anything in my personal life. I kind of, you know, it's kind of nice to have that, you know, that boundary, like you guys have, you know, a bit of that separation.
Right. One of the things we were talking about today, I was trying to picture like, surely, you know, the fact that you guys are making videos together it makes it a little bit less of a loner thing. I mean, like you could easily just sort of dive into this world and just be doing everything by yourself, which is kind of what you were doing at one point. So how has it been managing a relationship like that? And the logistical question, are you guys in the same room when you're talking to each other in the game?
We're in the same house, but in a different room, just for, it's easier just for
sound isolation.
Yeah. So that makes it easier like that. And we were recording.
And plus, that's just how your relationship works. It's like we're best in separate rooms.
There's a line down the middle of the house.
Yeah. This is my side. This is your side. That's what we do.
Yes. So I mean, we were recording before we met together. Like it was, you know, it was that way around. And, you know, I've done videos with other people before, like you mentioned earlier, Ballistic Squid, you know, like who I met when I had 1,000 subscribers when I met him. And we've been, you know, kind of unofficial partners for a while. You're not to the level that you two are in the fact that we're never planning stuff together. Like he has series on his channel, which I'm kind of a guest in, and I'll jump in and be comic relief. And then vice versa, I'll have a series which, you know, like I'm very controlling. Like I'll kind of plan, you know, I'll plan what the series is, and I invite him in because he really makes me laugh, and so he's great.
But you can't talk.
Like, no. Those ones he does talk. Yeah. So it's really only been Ballistic Squid and now Squishy that I've done videos talking to people, which is always awkward for me because.
Are you a control freak?
Like To like, if it's a point where it's
Squishy is nodding her head.
like if I'm doing a video on my channel, then like I feel like I am in control and I want it the way I want it. But if I was a guest in Squid's or Squishy's videos, like I wouldn't try and take control. Like I let them take control and I'll let them I'll abide by their rules and go in the direction they want. So,
but like in real life, like okay, we got to get from point A to point B, and we're gonna go my way.
I don't think so. Can we have a nod or a shake? Am I controlling? We've got a sigh. I don't think so. Like for work stuff and video stuff, like that's my obsession, and that's when I'm going to really care. If it's about like what we're going to have for dinner, like I'm not interested. I don't care.
Right.
If, we can have what you want. I'm not worried.
So you're not like a personality type. Are you laid back or like more tightly wound? Does it carry over from the meticulous planning that goes into your videos?
I think, there's things that that would stress me out, but I think I'm generally laid back about most things.
So did the relationship start before?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
So the way we met was Squishy sent me a map in Minecraft.
And I will say,
that's
we don't
the
have,
way to a Minecraft
we don't have,
send him a map.
We would just bring her over, but we don't have a fourth mic, and it's also more entertaining for me personally to watch her just react to you speaking.
Yeah,
so it's not like we're trying to keep the woman silent. It's just sort of logistically working out that way right now.
Well, we met in a traditional way. She sent me a Minecraft map. No, she sent me
a map to her heart, perhaps?
She because people send me maps all the time to, hoping that I'm going to play through them and do a video of them. So she sent me a Stampy themed map that she made, but she made a video of her playing through it and kind of talking about it. And and I thought the map was okay. Like the map was pretty cool, but like I thought her commentary was really funny. Like I thought she was really good, and she had I don't know how many subscribers she had at the time, but I remember I was her 11th. So she'd only been doing YouTube. She'd been doing it for a few months, and so I went and watched some of her videos. I was like, she's really funny. Like this is someone who really child friendly, bright, happy. Like this is someone who I'd like to do videos with.
And then you looked out your window and she was standing there,
wearing a t-shirt with my face on.
Yes, right. You've been there.
Yeah. So I reached out to her, and I wanted to meet her for a bit and chat, before saying about, doing that. I would never go, let's do a video together. So I talked about, the possibility of doing a series together, and we kind of worked out what that would be. And then we started recording. And so, when you're recording with someone, you're speaking to them a lot. And so, yeah, we met through Minecraft.
So she was kind of a collaborator first, or...
Yeah, definitely. We did videos together before this is before we met in person.
Right. And then the first time you incorporated, I know you'd incorporated Ballistic Squid already into videos, but when you incorporated her into videos, what was the fan reaction? How do your fans react to changes and stuff
It's general. There's a lot of negativity, like any change, I did a one-off series with Martin Littlewood from the Yogscast, and and I think it was a great series, but like up until then, all of that type of video had been with Squid, and so people generally react negatively to change. And so I think when I started with Squishy, there was a bit of that. I mean, it's always the minority, it's always a very loud minority.
Right.
But but that was when we started. We're now we've been doing videos for quite a while now, and people love her, and she's she's got a strong channel as well, and her own set of fans, and she's just kind of accepted as as part of the group of friends now.
Did you start dating before you met in person?
No, like we kind of we were kind of talking and getting along, and then and then we met.
We won't keep grilling you about that. We should talk about the new stuff that you're working on, because there's like huge stuff. Wonderquest.
Yeah, so Wonderquest this is off my channel. This is a new channel called Wonderquest, which is it's a joint channel I'm doing with Maker Studios. Mm-hmm. We're kind of going into this together, and I had the idea from as soon as I realized kids were watching, I knew that I wanted to do educational videos, and this was this is what that is, and so it's a new channel where it's a brand new format to where, unlike my videos, which are completely unscripted, these are completely scripted. We have producers of the show. It's shot like a show. We have multiple cameras. And we have overlays and music and sound effects, and it's
but it's set within a Minecraft universe it's Minecraft.
Yeah, it's all
Minecraft characters.
Yeah, it's all
Minecraft worlds.
Yeah, there is also a side show called I Wonder, and that is an animated show.
Right.
And so that's shorter content. Each episode's about 3 or 4 minutes, and that goes even more in depth to the educational side. Whereas the main show, I mean, it's got to be entertainment first, because otherwise no one's going to watch it. But
what's the story like in general?
So it's kind of like a Saturday morning cartoon. There's an evil villain called Heinous, who's played by Shay Carl, and and then he's got his 2 henchmen, and there's the Wonder Cube, which has been shattered, and it's basically stopped everyone from wandering. Like no one's thinking, like everyone's just kind of turned dumb. And so we're trying to piece it back together. So each episode we're following clues to try and find a piece of the wonderment, and then there's certain obstacles we have to try and get past on our way to doing that. And we're inevitably having to learn something to get past those obstacles.
And what was the motivation for kind of branching out?
I just knew it was something that I wanted to do, and I just knew it was something that would work so well in Minecraft. And Minecraft has been used for education for a while now. Like it's used in schools quite a lot. There's an EDU version of Minecraft, which is an educational version of Minecraft, which is officially released. So it's not it's not breaking like any doors down in that way, but that type of entertaining video content is something that you don't see much of, and it just seemed like such an obvious thing, because it's not just a show that they can watch, because we're also releasing the worlds, the sets or the games that we're playing in. So with each episode we release a world so people can kind of do what we did, and kind of carry on playing and learning beyond just watching the video.
But how is it shot? It's shot like a show. It's not like a live action show, right? Because you've got a real world, a virtual world of Minecraft, but then you have to shoot, like, I'm talking camera angles and characters and blocking, no pun intended. It's not like an animation, which you just draw whatever you want. You have to build it. Then you have to insert the characters, and then C, you have to shoot it.
Yeah, how does that work?
How do you work camera angles in Minecraft?
So the first thing, building the sets is a big thing.
But I get that. It's Minecraft.
Yeah.
That's easy.
But then anyway, I won't go into that stuff though. So the filming, so we're in the game, and then we have characters that are invisible. So they're the cameras, and there are settings you can do to have a smoother camera and make it so you don't see any of the menus. You just see what you'll see.
So
in
it's
a
the
show.
first-person perspective of invisible characters edited together to
becomes a cameraman.
Yeah, and think how the amazing. You have like if you have to do a crane shot in real life, you got to get a crane. With us, you got to press a button, you can fly.
Fly the invisible cameraman.
Yeah. So there's lots of opportunities to do cool things there. And then
are people doing this, or is this the first of its kind?
There's been things that I've done on my channel which are kind of that in that
use that
style.
technique.
Yeah, and people before me doing that kind of thing. I mean, this is long form content though. These are it's all internet based, so it's not strict, but they're all about 20 minutes or so. So this is long form content, and the overlays, all the music, and then the simple. Say if I'm throwing an item on the ground, they don't just rely on the Minecraft sound. They're at a whoosh,
But let me ask you this: when you're playing Stampy in this world, are you controlling the character and voicing it simultaneously?
Yeah, so
and then there's a director. Are you all in the same room? Are you in London and Shay Carl's in like the middle of Idaho?
So it's there's a couple of us. There's myself, and then Adam Clark, who plays Wizard Keen, who's kind of he's kind of like my mentor. He's the kind of guy teaching me. I'm kind of the pupil. We're in the UK, and then there's the team at Maker, and they're in LA. I got a bad sleep pattern for recording late at night. And so what essentially I'm doing is the commentary is still done live with the action. We don't just do a voiceover session like after we've shot it. So I'm basically nodding. I'm nodding the character's head up and down.
Puppeting kind of.
And speaking. And there are some elements where, there is a lot of improvising that goes into it. And there are some parts where it is more of a, there's a horde of zombies coming, we need to get them. And
so you're setting up the scene. Is there like a director who's like you're hearing, and he's like on Skype or something, and he's saying, okay, guys, action?
It's just amazing how similar to a normal shoot. A lot of like the logistics are, we have to face
a live action shoot. It's just, I mean, I didn't think of it.
It's like doing a play more than it's like filming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, it's still scene based, I assume.
Yeah.
And then you stop down and it's like, well, let's get that again. I didn't like your performance. Let's
right, but if you're building something, or the same thing applies where you have to redo it, right?
Yeah, but like I mean, if we're building something, we have to redo it. But there's very little Minecraft.
Yeah, you're not
like
building
Minecraft.
anything.
It's more of a story within.
Yeah. It is. Puppets I think is quite a nice thing to use. We're kind of playing through. There are sometimes we might need to play something. We never.
How many cameramen are there?
It's usually 2. But we'll redo the scene a few times. If I'll get specific things. There's sometimes there's
so
some
you have 2 cam ops who are invisible men, and then you'll redo the scene and like give them different assignments. And there's a director who's deciding all that stuff. Is that you?
And sometimes if it's a bigger scene, sometimes we'll have a scene where we need like a crowd, and we need, like it's, like a bigger scene. Then we'll have more people helping out. Sometimes Squishy might hop on and be an extra character in the background because it's needed.
And how long? I mean, how many episodes of how long?
So there's 12 episodes. We're doing 3 seasons. The first season is out now, and there's 12 episodes of that, and they're all about 20 minutes. Some go down to about 15, I think. Some went a little bit longer.
And how are you releasing that? Because I know that when we're recording this, you're about to launch.
Yeah.
And then once it's launched, you're releasing them all 12 episodes at once?
No, we're going to be doing them weekly. There's going to be, so there's the I Wonder, which is the animated show, and then one of the main show, Wonderquest, is going to be released each week. And so they're going to be spaced out in that way.
And how do you, I guess this applies to your videos too, but for some reason it just seems like more of an issue when you're creating like an original programming. When you're basically creating a show that is intellectual property, but you're using Minecraft. Are there any like copyright considerations for that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, it basically means we there's no opportunity to bring it to TV, for example, is a big thing. I mean, the Minecraft's great in terms of their terms of use. The fact that they spell out very clearly, like it says in the terms of use, you may put this content on YouTube and monetize it, and which is obviously
and they don't take a cut.
No, but they have the best free advertising in the world. It's way better than any trailer. So it's kind of a mutual benefit situation.
Right.
So for things like, say, if we wanted to bring out merchandise or something, you can't use anything Minecraft. So it does kind of limit kind of the potential of what these things can be, but. For this kind of show, like, its home is YouTube. Like, this is the place where, children are going to want to watch this program.
So what now? I mean, it sounds like Wonderquest is, there's 2 more seasons that you're committed to. Are you happy with it so far? And what else are you setting your sights on?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super happy with how Wonderquest has like turned up, and I'm as I said as we're recording this, it's not public yet, so I'm anticipating the reaction, and this is something I've spent the last year on, so just waiting to see what people think. So hopefully, as the time as I can listen to this, I'm reading nice comments. And
right.
I mean the big thing for me is obviously being so tied directly to Minecraft. The worry is that once Minecraft's popularity starts to go down, as it inevitably will, is to try and make it so the Stampy Cat character can kind of live on in some other form. And there's nothing at the moment, but I'm heavily thinking about either other mediums or other ways that Stampy Cat can live as a character outside of Minecraft. So that's the next big project.
Well, we're in awe of everything that you're doing, and we think it's awesome, and obviously our kids do. So
yes,
sign the table, man, and that will be something our kids can keep coming back to and say, yeah, it really did happen. So can we?
It did, yes.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Thanks, man. And Beth, you should come over to the mic and say something. Okay. Come on, I'm not going to make you, but I just said you should.
Okay.
You should put on the headphones and everything, just full treatment. And because
just so they can know that you were actually here.
I was actually here.
And
that's her.
And
that's Squishy Quack.
What's your assessment? I mean, is there something that you need to correct that he said?
not really. I mean, yes, he is quite controlling.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. Yes.
And what else? Don't hold back.
That's
I
great.
don't really have any more.
That's all you need to
enough.
say. That's all you need to say.
Fine.
Listen, you know what? You just earned your own signature on this table.
Oh,
Yes,
Please.
yes. Find
That's
a spot.
great.
Thanks for
Okay.
coming in, guys.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And there you have it, our conversation with Stampy Cat and Squishy. We got her on that mic there at the end, so that's
We did.
got her perspective.
I mean, she was here the whole time, which I think we explained, but so it was only appropriate to bring her on and give her a microphone.
Tweet at Joseph. His Twitter handle is Stampy Longnose. Stampy Longnose, not Stampy Cat. Hashtag Your Biscuits. Let him know what you thought of the conversation. Also, give us a review on iTunes. We appreciate that.
One of the cool things that happened is right after we finished recording this podcast, we took him out of the Ear Biscuit studio here and walked out into the main part of the studio. And to record the Good Mythical Morning appearance that he made, which has been up for a while, the Minecraft game, which I won, by the way. And I thought that you would win because you've been watching. You really should feel a little shame about that. But
Questions were hard for us.
our kids were here because not just because we wanted to use them in the game, but because they really, 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 really wanted to meet Stampy. This is probably
cool dad points.
maybe the number one celebrity that they would want to meet. Period.
Oh yeah.
And so, and of course, once some of their friends found out that they were meeting Stampy, they had to be here too. So we had all of our kids and some of their friends here.
Well, we knew they were here.
We didn't know where they were.
We didn't know where they were.
So as soon as we get out into the sort of the main open area of the studio, they're all like standing there and they begin clapping
Like for his
for
entrance.
Stampy as he comes out, and it was an amazing moment. Of course, he's like the most gracious guy. You can totally tell he's not one of these guys that is annoyed by the fact that he's popular with children. He immediately started talking to each one of them, and Lily had made some stuff for him, and anyway, it was pretty awesome. But they definitely got more out of that moment than they've ever gotten out of anything that we provided as an actual father.
Hey, if that's what it takes to be a cool dad or a good dad,
We'll
or
take
what,
it.
I don't
Yeah.
know. It's like I'll pull out that stop.
You'll pull out that stop.
I'll pull out. You know how they say pull out all the stops.
Yeah, you'll pull out that stop.
That Joseph Garrett coming into your studio is one of the stops.
Oh, but I think you pull out the stops to make things go faster, right? So
I have no clue what a stop is.
I think you play a card.
You're
You're playing the Stampy card as a father to become a cool dad.
The funny thing is, when you talk about pulling out the stops, you know what I picture? And I have no clue why. Maybe you can explain this. An organ. Are there stops in an organ? I think there are.
That could very well be what I'm sure it has some sort of word, phrase, origin thing, and it could be. I don't know. I mean, it's not pulling out a doorstop, right? Because it's multiple stops, and you pull them out, and then something happens. You're going to look it up right now just to find out? Here,
the music playing, they know
they
that
can
this
stick
is over.
around if they want to learn
Pulling
something.
out.
Assuming you're
Yes.
going to be able to figure it out by looking on the internet, which is a
pulling
questionable
out.
source often.
Pulling out all the stops.
Origin. That's what I would Google if I was Googling it. Find anything?
An allusion to organ stops.
There you go. How did you even know that?
I don't know. An allusion to organ stops, which control the loudness and tones of a pipe organ. When all are pulled out, the
It's
organ
super
can play.
loud.
Well, it can play all tones simultaneously.
I'm pulling out all the stops.
To reserve or hold back nothing. They pulled out all the stops for that gala wedding. That's the Wikipedia.
Link, you had some mystical insights.
I had knowledge. Empty the tank. Give one's all. Go all out.
Either you're clairvoyant or you've heard that before. What's your choice?
Let's say that I've heard it before.
Okay.
I have got a lot of organist friends
All right.
that you don't know about.
Next week we'll be back with another interesting tidbit about word origins. No, probably not. That's probably the only time that's ever going to happen.
But rest assured, we'll pull out all the stop for you.
That's right. Stop?
Yeah.
Just one stop.